Now, please welcome our next finalist to the stage. From Oakland, representing F Kinect, please give a warm welcome to Joseph Franco.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Franco, and this is F Kinect. Take a look at me. I'm an average guy. I go to community college. I'm a teenager. I have a girlfriend. But there's one thing different about me. I became a foster child at age 15. Suddenly, life behind the scenes came with all sorts of new challenges. For starters, I had to face my mother in court, while my lawyer argued that the foster care system was the best option for me. But that wasn't the hardest thing. The hardest thing about going into foster care is the sense of isolation. Once I entered foster care, I found that there was no support for me getting to school, no support for me getting help with homework, and there was my foster home only cared about my attendance so that they can get funding. And once you exit foster care, you are left with no home, no food, and no funding or money for college. So if you're a foster youth and you want to go to college, you need a peer network, foster-specific college information, as well as housing assistance. So I decided to do something about it. I created F Kinect, an app dedicated to helping foster children get direct access to foster-specific college information. Think of F Kinect as a roadmap for how to check off all the right boxes when applying for college and connecting with other foster youth to work on projects and college applications together. The goal of F Kinect is to make sure every youth has their chance to do the graduation dance. Okay. All jokes aside, in the long run, my goal is to raise the $5 million it would take to make F Kinect free for all. So let's explore how F Kinect works. First, I want you to know that F Kinect is a real app that you can go and download. But since we have limited time, I'll point you to this live wireframe at fosterconnect.xyz, and please feel free to take out your phones, go to your browsers, and look it up for yourself. Once you're there, you could log in and view your projects. You have personal projects as well as team projects. And there's a team example where I'm working with other foster youth to work on a magazine, and through the app, we can do things like chat, upload files, and scheduling. So I just explained how it works. Let's look at the money behind a month of business expenses. To run this business, it's going to cost me about $4,200. That's made up of things like advertising and app depreciation. Now, you won't see any variable expenses for an app because all those costs come upfront through development. So to make our business finances work, we'll be charging users $1 per month. And what this means is to break even, we need 4,258 active users. You might be wondering if foster youth have that extra $1 per month. The answer is yes. Foster youth receive a monthly allowance. But we also plan to follow state and local funding. Imagine the sales potential if the state of California bought access to F Kinect for all of its 62,000 foster youth. California has the highest number of foster youth compared to any other state. Nationally, the foster care industry spends $4.3 billion to serve the 500,000 foster youth in foster care, but they too often forget about foster youth once they turn 18. What this shows is that 70% of foster youth want to go to college, but less than 3% will graduate. F Kinect helps the other 97% by accessing this $4.3 billion. Remember, we only need 4,200 of these youth to make our business finances work. To reach these youth, we'll be marketing through social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but I want to challenge the normal marketing practices. I am proud to be supported by the National Association of Social Workers and the Social Worker Stand-Up Conference. As they continue to bring youth to F Kinect, they have become some of F Kinect's most powerful marketing assets. You might be wondering, where are all the companies that help us get to college? The market research does not show a good, clear picture. My closest competitors are an app called Before You Go, which is free but limited to the LA County, and a website called Foster Care to Success, which is also free, but is geared to connecting adults to foster kids rather than foster youth to each other. Judges, There are thousands of companies that help get kids into college, but we're talking about getting foster kids into college. Without the mentorship or financial support of your parents, it's a totally different game. F Kinect is the only app with an on-the-ground network of California foster youth as well as social workers to market F Kinect. What makes me qualified, you might be asking? Within the past year, I pitched to both Moody's Analytics and, of course, Nifty. I graduated from Mount Eden, and I'm now attending Chabot College in Hayward. And what I'm most proud of is that companies like PayPal have taken interest in my app. And through PayPal's Opportunity Hack, I now have a team of hackers who have been developing my app for me and have been working with me to this day. But something I wasn't able to include here is that the city of Hayward has given me the opportunity to launch my app there and to serve the entire school district. This is something I'm extremely proud of. Not only do I have a live version of F Kinect, but now I have real target consumers that will use my app throughout the city of Hayward. Thank you. Once we've captured the California market, we'll have a gross revenue of $521,000 and a net profit of $470,000. Remember, that's based on a $1 per month subscription. That means we'd be getting $90 back for every $100 in sales. That may sound ambitious, and it is, but it's also realistic. These numbers are based on capturing a small fraction of foster youth in America. Judges, audience members, investors. F Kinect is an app that will change lives and make money, and that is what I call an opportunity. To run this app, it's going to cost me about $50,000, and that's made up of things like my startup salary and some quality revisions. That brings $50,000 might sound like a lot, but think of it this way. For every dollar you put in, you're going to be getting $10 back. So let's talk about my future plans. In a year, I plan to market locally to Bay Area foster youth. In 5 years, I'll have captured the California market, and in 10 years, I plan to use the network of adults who have used F Kinect to raise the money for a nonprofit and capture the US market. Judges, audience members, F Kinect is long overdue, which is why I want you to believe in it as much as I do. Thank you. I'd now like to open the floor up to your questions.
That was a really great presentation. I really love that idea. All right, judges, take it away. You've got 5 minutes for questions.
All right, I guess we'll start on this end. Okay. So I'm getting the head nod. Great. So first of all, outstanding job.
Thank you.
Another really brilliant, interesting idea.
Thank you.
I'm a technology guy, and I'm going to defer to Ari to come up with some app questions for him.
I got a few.
I thought you might. But I'm going to focus in on the $50K or your startup investment. You talked about some, getting some folks and some staffing. How did you come up with, or what would be your labor plan, or how you arrived to that 50,000 from a staffing perspective, and what kind of folks would you look to come on board and get your thing moving?
Well, currently, it's just me and my mentor.
Okay.
That 50,000, well, because I'm working with PayPal, most of my costs have actually gone down. Because remember, we only need 4,200 of these youth to break even, and we're targeting 43,000 youth in California alone, and that's not even the entire population of the California foster youth. I came up with those numbers, including of course, I need to conclude salary, marketing, et cetera, to get my app up and running, and I guess that's how I got those numbers,
Okay.
yeah.
So great job.
Thank you.
Awesome presentation. I'm curious about your plans while you're in college.
Yes.
And so I see that you still want to move the business forward.
Of course.
Have you thought about how you'll enlist a team or additional people to support the growth or expansion of the idea as you have the city now interested in testing?
Yeah. So since I have a city now interested in testing this app, I guess you'll say that's like the beta phase of my app. I do plan, if you're talking about data collection, to use Amazon Web Services, which is free, of course, has a lot of space. To include more people on my team, that's a great question, thank you. I do have to do more research and get back to you on that. But yeah, that's how I'd answer that.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
You told me upstairs that you would blow our mind, and you did.
Thank
Great
you.
job. I love the confidence. Great job.
Thank you so much.
And I'm curious why you went the road of charging a subscription instead of advertisement and sponsorship. since that is in the area of social service. What was your rationale for that?
So that's a great question. Thank you. My idea behind that was that I did my market research, and I would need thousands of like ads or to be free right away. That's why I said in the end goal, my goal is to raise the $5 million it would take to make F Kinect free for all. I did the $1 per month subscription because that's the quickest way for me to get this app off the ground, to make a ton of profit, and to be able to fully expand my app the way I wanted to. I did say earlier that, sorry, could you repeat what you wanted to know again?
Yes, why you went the route of having subscription instead of having advertisement
Oh,
or
okay.
sponsorship.
So we said that I said that foster youth don't have to be actually paying it directly because we are following state and local funding, and I know the state of California has already taken great strides to improving foster youth, but foster youth have no access to this information, or most of the time they have no way of getting this information or these resources that are there for them. So F Kinect is here to fill that gap of your social worker that's supposed to get you ready for college and supposed to give you these resources by handing it directly to you on your phone, this technology that's in everyone's pockets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. So I really like the fact that you're looking at a real problem that you're
Yes.
experiencing, and you're doing something to address it. I think that's fantastic.
Totally.
So did I understand you right to say that there is an app right now? You have an app?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how was that? Did you develop that, or were there
Oh no,
others that developed
the PayPal team of hackers that I talked about,
Yeah.
have actually been working with me since a couple months ago to help me get my app on. If you search, you won't find the app there right now, but that's because they had to take it down because they found problems with my app, and they are redeveloping it. We'll be able to get up within a month or so.
Okay, so you've got some pro bono support to kind of help with that.
Yeah,
up
exactly.
to date.
Yes.
Good. So what about protecting that intellectual property? So have you thought about getting some sort of patent on it or protection?
Great question. Of course I've thought about that, and that's definitely my next step after this competition. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, I mean, so let me just say, I really admire the steps you've taken in your life to get to where you are today.
Thank
so
you.
congratulations on just being the person you are.
Thank you.
Let me also say, from a business perspective, you have 90% margins. I'm going to invest in you right now. So just be very cautious when you put a number out like
sure.
that, just
Yeah.
to make sure you have all the expenses necessary to run a business.
Yes, sir.
One thing I would say is that I think the marketing budget might be a little bit high, a little bit non-existent, in
Yeah.
that you have a lot of people that you want to incentivize to help sell the app. Is
Yeah,
what I
I
see
did
in your
say I have that
presentation.
network of social workers to help me market F Kinect directly. So why would I start at square one and start with all the marketing through social media and whatnot when
Right.
I already have this direct access to the foster youth?
But one thing they might, even if they're not-for-profit, for-profit, they might want to be incentivized in some way to help you sell the app.
Thanks for your feedback.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, but I mean, overall, I mean, just great job. And one thing I would say to you is if it doesn't work as a for-profit, this would be a really interesting not-for-profit business
No, for sure.
that you should absolutely
Thank you.
consider.
That's the goal, is to make it nonprofit.
Right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.